Well, President Trump, they just can't beat him. They're trying like crazy. Guy, man, how does he survive? All these crazy investigations, lawsuits, and they haven't laid a glove on him, in my opinion. The latest effort is this guy, Mark Pomerantz. He's well, oh boy, looks like not a nice man, but who knows? Mark Pomerantz is a lawyer who worked for the district attorney of Manhattan, and they were looking into Donald Trump. The district attorney said, we're not gonna pursue charges. He left in a great big huff, and now he's writing a book about it. Is that legal? Can you do that? The People versus Donald Trump. This is his book. And Joe Tacopina, criminal defense attorney, member of Donald Trump's legal team, is fighting this on behalf of the president. Joe Tacopina, welcome back to Newsmax. How are you?
Hey, Greg, how you doing?
Terrific. Is that the gist of it? Tell us a little bit more about what's happening here.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've never seen in my career, both as a prosecutor, as a trial attorney. You have someone who at one point apparently was a distinguished member of the bar, who is willing to commit a violation of the New York State penal law, a crime, in order to sell a book. And that's where Pomerantz's hypocrisy knows no bounds. Greg, while he's falsely accusing President Trump of committing numerous felonies, he apparently is committing a felony by using this grand jury information, which is information that was received pursuant to grand jury subpoenas, to sell his book. It's something that I've never seen in my life. I don't think anyone has. This man signed an agreement when he was pulled out of Paul Weiss, a firm that represents Hillary Clinton, as an aside, when he was pulled out of Paul Weiss to become a special prosecutor to investigate the president. One thing he had to do was sign a confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement, which bound him. And one of the key points of that agreement was number 6 in there said that the records in this case have or will be obtained pursuant to grand jury subpoena. I'm reading from the actual agreement. And that pursuant to New York Penal Law 215-70, improper disclosure of such material is punishable as a felony. So here we have it. Apparently, he's more concerned about selling this book, getting his 15 minutes of fame on the back of Donald Trump, than he is upholding the law as a prosecutor that he was sworn to uphold. So he's violating the law, and it's unbelievable to me.
His boss was Alvin Bragg, the district attorney. Right. Now, we know about this guy. He's kind of, well, he's out there. I think we have a picture of Alvin Bragg. He's known for his wokeness and his fondness of criminals, quite frankly. It was his decision not to pursue this case, though, apparently. And I want to go to Pomerantz's resignation letter. I believe that Donald Trump is guilty of numerous felony violations in connection with the preparation and use of his annual statements of financial condition. You have reached the decision not to seek criminal charges at the present time. I therefore cannot continue in my present position. I have worked too hard as a lawyer and for too long now to become a passive participant in what I believe to be a grave failure of justice. You know, it happens all the time when your boss does something that you don't like, but you work there, you got to go along with it. You're right. Lawyers aren't allowed to do this, right? You say it's a law. No. Is it a canon of ethics thing? What is he actually violating?
Well, it's certainly a violation of the canon of ethics, but it's a violation of the New York State penal law, Greg. It is a felony. What he's doing is a felony, okay? So I really hope that Alvin Bragg's repeatedly said that his office will continue to pursue their investigation of President Trump without fear or favor because no one is above the law. And I really call on Mr. Bragg to apply those same principles to Mark Pomerantz and convene a grand jury to determine whether felony charges should be brought against him for violating the grand jury secrecy laws. I mean, it's black and white. He signed an agreement, and he is now violating it to sell a book. Alvin Bragg, by the way, is doing what I'm doing. He's trying to prevent the release of that book as well because he's saying it will compromise our entire investigation. So it's something that I've just never seen in my career, never thought I would see. But we live in a different world now, in a different age, obviously. Oh. And the claims he made, by the way, Greg, as an aside, the things he said in there about the inflated value of the president's assets or the Trump organization's assets were even more outrageous and more ridiculous. Those values, those assets of properties were independently verified by one of the biggest banks in the world and one of the biggest assessors in the world. So, you know, it's a joke to say that the Trump organization tried to defraud or commit fraud against one of the largest banks in the world, one of the most sophisticated lenders in the world, in loans of this magnitude and rarity, when they did their own independent evaluation, as they would be expected to do.
It's ridiculous what they put this president through, but he always wins. He always wins, and I think he's going to win again, especially with you on his side. Joe Tacopina, we appreciate it. Senior partner at the law offices of Tacopina, Siegel, and Diorio. Thank you, sir.
Great. Thank you.
You bet. Be right back.